Well, that could have been an email. And just like that, we've got ourselves another Pokemon Presents. And for those of you that don't know, these are kind of like the Nintendo Directs and little presentations that are put on, but it's exclusive for Pokemon stuff. And it's not just limited to like the home console games. There's stuff about the trading card games, the mobile games as well as some other things that happen in there. So I want to go over what actually got announced, what was talked about, and what my overall view on it is. When I was younger, I used to love watching esports. I used to watch Counter-Strike all the time. I've even been to see it live in London when it was over here before. I used to watch lots of League of Legends as well. Look, we all have our problems, okay? But I never thought I'd see Pokemon esports. And the reason why I'm talking about this esports stuff is because, well, the show kicked off with the Pokemon World Championships are going to be taking part in Anaheim this year. And it's going to be happening on the 15th to 17th of August. There's going to be loads of stuff there. There's going to be stuff from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There's going to be stuff there from the trading card game, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite, loads of interesting stuff. And it is wild to me that there's a Pokemon esports scene. I'm all for it. I'm not someone that is a massive like Pokemon head. Like, I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I enjoy the games. I've got a lot of nostalgia for some of the stuff as well, but I've never been into like the super tactical stuff or playing Pokemon games like competitively. I have all the respect for everyone who wants to go out there and EV and IV train. I did it with one Pokemon in Sword and Shield and it was just hell. I do not have the time to dedicate to that, but I've got a lot of respect for it. So it's just cool to see these like events happening and like people being able to go and express themselves and just have fun with like-minded people. So if you are someone who is in Anaheim around that time, I would say go check it out. I'm not gonna be there, but maybe you could be. Now, if you know me, you know I love me some cat girls, really interesting art styles. And that's what Pokemon Concierge has got. It's a series on Netflix. I think it's already out and they were talking about some more episodes of it. It's something that if it is out, I've been missing because I really do want to check it out. And if it's not out, I'm looking forward to it. Off the top of my head, I just can't remember, but it looks super cool. The art style looks super fun. But I think because it's not a cartoon, it's got a different sort of style to it and it looks really interesting and really cute. But then you also got Aardman Studios then to talk about their collaboration they're doing with Pokemon. Aardman are the people behind like Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, stuff like that. Whatever they're cooking up is going to be super cool because the Aardman style of stop motion animation is insane. As someone who grew up with like stuff like Wallace and Gromit and all that type of stuff, I've got a lot of time for this and I am interested to see what they put out. Poké Park Kanto is coming to a theme park whose name I'm not even going to try to announce because I'll butcher it, and it looks super cool. They've said that they want to make it so it's like a world where Pokemon and humans kind of just sort of like interact and like you go in there and you're in the Pokemon world and there's Pokemon together. So I don't know how that's going to work. I'm guessing it's going to be some form of animatronic or maybe robots, or maybe they've just got a lab that they've just made Pokemon in, which means they've made a Vaporeon. But it looks super cool. I'm not sure what they're going to have there in terms of like amusements and rides and stuff. But if something like that opens up in like the Universal parks where they've got like the Super Mario stuff already, it's going to be super cool. I've been to the Mario one in LA and it is really, really fun. It's really nostalgic and I loved it. Now all we need is the one in the UK to open up and we're golden. Pokemon Go then got an update announced with Pokemon Go Fest Max Finale Final Update 2020, whatever. It's a mouthful, it's a stupid name. I don't know how they keep on pumping out content for this game. It just, yeah, it's Pokemon Go. Like, it is overwhelming. I stopped playing because every time I opened that game, there was just a 2 ton of menus to get through, and it was just way too much. If you still enjoy Pokemon Go, then more power to you. I loved it when it first came out. I liked the idea of getting people out, walking, interacting like community. I thought that was really cool. And then the microtransactions got ramped up. I get it has to get money from somewhere. I fully get that. But at the same time, it was just crazy. I'm not a fan of it, but if you are, then congratulations, there's a new event coming. And when we saw Pokemon Masters EX, whatever that is, followed up by a Pokemon Cafe Remix update, which is getting like a pirate theme stuff coming to it. I'll be honest, I forgot this game existed. I remember when it first got announced years ago, but for me, like, it's not something I've ever dabbled in, but it is looking really cutesy, and the pirate stuff, it's pretty adorable. So if you're still someone that's playing that and enjoying it, you've got some new stuff coming your way. The legendary dogs from Generation 2 are coming to Pokemon Sleep, as well as a whole new area. Pokemon Sleep has never been something that I've really dabbled in. It is something which I've known about for a very long time, but I just kind of track my sleep with my watch and leave it at that. I don't really go into any more depth with it, and I don't particularly care if it misses a reading or two. I kind of get a bit annoyed if I was sleeping and it wasn't tracking stuff properly and I was missing out on Pokemon, so I don't really know how the game itself works, but I do know a lot of people out there are using it, and I do know that it's cool to have people like track some health stats, making it gamified, so that's, you know, I'm all for that. We then got an announcement that a couple more Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Unite, as well as a new Electrode Volleyball mode. I've never really played Unite because it gave me like League of Legends flashbacks, and I tried to sort of stop that a long time ago. I will never go back to a MOBA. We then got a Mega Evolutions pack announcement for the trading card game, like the physical trading card game, which is something that I will never ever dabble in. I'm not allowed to dabble in it because I have problems, and I will never stop investing in it. And I say investing because investing means that you eventually plan on selling. To all of you out there that are saying your collection is worth a lot, it's only worth a lot if you sell it. Pokemon Friends then got announced, which has nothing to do with having like a Pokemon companion. It's basically a puzzle game. Puzzles are pretty simplistic, probably aimed for people that are a lot younger than myself because I'm old, so I've been over many times before, although some of you seem to think that I'm not, and I quite appreciate that. It looks like it's more of like a daily challenge thing, kind of like brain training without being brain training, and you get like plushies you can put into your virtual room, which is, it's cute. We'll have to see what it's like. I think it's going to be, you know, available on a lot of like iOS and Android, and, you know, obviously Switch, hopefully anyway, if it's on there. But yeah, it looks like it could be quite interesting, but it's not something that I'm super excited for, but puzzle games keeps you past the time, so hey, there's a lot worse things they could have said. For all of you out there that have got a Nintendo Switch 2, don't forget you can get an update for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to play it on your Switch 2 with, you know, some graphical improvements and all that. It actually runs like a game should run now. They wanted to reiterate that. And there's also some new Terra Raid event, whatever that is, and some other limited stuff coming to it. I've still not put that game into my console. I really should try it out, but it's going to be part of the full review just to see what's going on with it. But yeah, if you are someone that is enjoying it, there's some new stuff coming. If you haven't, then don't forget you still got this update coming to you. I grew up with my N64 and I loved playing Pokemon Stadium. And then I got Pokemon Stadium 2 early from Australia. Managed to find some way of importing it when I was younger, and I thought I was the coolest kid around. That was great. I never really played Coliseum or anything like that on the GameCube or anything that came after that. We're getting Pokemon Champions, which kind of looks like Stadium in a really weird way. It links with Pokemon Home, so you can get your Pokemon out of home and put them into this and battle. You can also recruit ones in the game. You can then train them up. It looks pretty in-depth. It's coming to Switch and mobile platforms, so we'll see what happens with it. I'm not sure how pay-to-win it's going to be. I get a funny feeling it might be very pay-to-win. I'll have to hold out on that one. And then the reason a lot of us are watching this, and that was for Pokemon Legends ZA. I'd like to point out that a YouTuber by the name of Spawnwave, who's someone that I just adore their content. I think they're super cool. I really love watching this stuff. They're massive. If you haven't checked them out, I don't know how you haven't, but if you haven't, then I would really insist that you do go check them out. But they pointed out that this is the first time that we've seen Pokemon Legends ZA get announced with the Switch 2 sort of graphics first. Normally it was like the Switch 1 ones. So yeah, it's an interesting shift. I think they're trying to shift focus now. Maybe people go, actually, please buy this for Switch 2. Don't stay with your Switch 1. We got another look at Pokemon Legends ZA. Yeah, it still looks like Pokemon Legends ZA. Nothing really stood out here. Like, they just went over a few more of like the story beats. So this went over a few more of the story beats where the Pokemon are mega evolving on their own, which is why you have to then sort of slap them about to get them back to normal, which means that you then get to have more mega evolutions. And we saw Mega Evolution Dragonite, which looks really weird. And we saw some of the cast of characters that you're going to be interacting with, and the fact that you can like customize your character, and then this, I can't remember the name, Fleur or something like that, poodle looking thing that follows you around. Pokemon that you can put jewelry on as well. Like, it just doesn't hit the same as Arceus did. Pokemon Legends Arceus looked so cool, and it was so fun because you were building like the first Pokedex, and it was not set in one town and one city. This is like so weird that they did it this way. After seeing Beast of Reincarnation get announced with Game Freak's name before it, how are we going to be looking at this and thinking it's the same company making it? Like, this game looks so bad in comparison. How are we accepting that games still look like this? I don't mind on mobile. I didn't mind it on like DS and stuff like that, but come on. The first Pokemon game that we're going to be playing on the Switch 2 looks like this. I know we're not here to compare graphics, but come on. It's a bit of a joke. I can let Game Freak fly. Let them do their thing. Hell, even the way the Pokemon Concierge looks would be a way better look at doing it. It'd be a much more unique game style for it as well. I'm all for stuff like that, but Pokemon Legends ZA just looks really boring. The fact that it has been done in one town as well. Collect Pokemon during the day, you battle them during the night, rinse and repeat. There's a little bit of side quest that you can do to level up as well, but it's all set in one area. How deep is that one town gonna go? Oh, just wanted to be better. I get worked up with things like that because I used to love playing Pokemon games when I was younger and seeing little advancements each time, and then it just kind of pitted off, and it kind of feels like they know it's gonna sell, so they don't really have to put that much effort into the graphical side of stuff. And I get it, graphics don't make a game. You can have the prettiest game in the world and it can still be crap, and these games could be great. These games could be amazing. They're never gonna look amazing if Nintendo don't let Game Freak fly. Old man yells at cloud, okay? One thing that was also not in the presentation but was noted afterwards was that there is gonna be a new bundle coming, which is Pokemon Legends ZA bundled in with the console as opposed to Mario Kart World, so that's gonna be replacing that. But unfortunately, I know some of you out there were looking for like a new sort of Switch with limited edition, and there's not gonna be one of them. Maybe when Gen 10 comes around, when they finally pull their finger out and announce Gen 10. How are we on Gen 10? I don't know past 3. Overall, this presentation wasn't crazy. There was nothing amazing here, but Pokemon presentations are never usually for the general public. They're kind of for Pokemon fans, and it's a celebration of Pokemon for the fans. And I get it. I'm all for that. I'm all for fan bases having their own little moments of joy and stuff. But as a Nintendo fan and as someone that enjoys consuming Nintendo content, looking at it, commenting on it and sharing my thoughts on it, I have to say that this was pretty weak. There wasn't really much that we learned that was new. Nothing really stood out from this presentation. It's just a bit meh. And I know I'm not the only one who thought like that. All I know is that I'm really jealous of everyone that gets to go to the Poké Park. I really hope they get a life-size Lopunny as well.